Welcome to Aligned and Local, the podcast where authentic stories meet community impact, hosted by Christina Irvine, local realtor and driving force behind Nope, Don't Love It. Welcome to Aligned and Local, the podcast where real stories meet real impact. I'm Christina Irvine, local realtor and your host, and this show is all about shining a light on the incredible business owners, community leaders, and change makers who make our neighborhoods thrive. We are not just talking about business, we're talking about purpose, passion, and the challenges and triumphs that shape the journey. So if you love supporting local and you believe in community over competition and you're ready to hear stories that inspire and connect, then you are in the right place. So let's dive in. I am super excited about today's episode because I'm bringing back someone who is not only incredibly knowledgeable, but also just genuinely cares about helping people take charge of their financial futures. Jeff Burgess from West Point Financial is in the studio with me again. And if you caught our last conversation, you already know you're in for a treat. April is Financial Literacy Month, and Jeff and I are teaming up with Heather Parker of Manor Law to host a financial literacy seminar based around a program created to teach your children financial literacy. We believe financial literacy should be accessible, personal, and maybe even a little bit fun, because when you're aligned financially, everything else starts to flow too. So in this episode, we're diving deeper into what to expect from the seminar and helping you decide if maybe attending is the right move for your family. So for now, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's talk about building a life that is not just financially secure, but can be for generations to come. So welcome back, Jeff.
Glad to be here.
Obviously, we brought you back so quickly for a reason. What are we so excited about?
So it's April 3rd, Financial Literacy Awareness Month, which I know is funny because every month has like 10 different awareness things about it. But this one's passionate to me in particular, just being a financial planner. And yeah, we have a little gathering coming up. Do you want to give the details on that?
So I'm super, super excited to partner with you on this. We've actually been talking about this for a while. So it's cool, really cool that we're finally doing it. Most people are super, super excited about is this idea because we weren't taught, most of us weren't taught, and we're kind of figuring it out as adults, how to be financially literate and make really good financial choices. And so the idea of being able to teach children that and create generational wealth by essentially just giving them the education to make those decisions early on, because it's kind of built in and instilled as kind of part of who they are, is really, really cool. And it seems like other people are really excited about it too. Do you want to share more about the book and kind of how you came across it?
Yeah. So kudos to my boss, Greg at West Point Financial Group. He does a really, really good job of bringing in experts to talk to his advisors. And these are of all capacities. And this was a gentleman I had the pleasure of listening to a couple of years ago. His name is Tom Henske. I believe he's in the East Coast, but he is an advisor just like me. And he is in the latter stages of his career. He definitely built an empire. And he is using this to give back, right? And so he created a program called Total Sense, and the program really revolves around the book called It Makes Total Sense, and that's sense with a C. And I literally just pulled up his website so anybody could see this, but he has some facts, and to me, there's two that really jump out. The first one is 1 in 6 U.S. students don't reach the baseline of financial literacy. And 70% of parents are reluctant to discuss money with their kids. And I think maybe part of the reason why that second one jumps out to me is because that was my household. We really didn't talk about money, and it just wasn't very commonplace. Now, as a parent, you have a million other things that you're probably talking to your kids about, so that makes a lot of sense to me. But what it can lead to is that by the time you become an adult and maybe you are making good money, you have to learn how to save, as an adult in their 20s or 30s. So the program empowers parents to talk to their kids about money. It's a 12-chapter book. The idea is you do one chapter a month. Just keep it simple. Easy reads. Each chapter is on a different topic. After you read that chapter, you then listen to a brief podcast to get another kind of perspective on it. And Tom, the author of the book, runs the podcast. And then there's a video to send to the kids that is meant for the kids to be able to comprehend. From there, the rest is up to the parents, right? To then take some action, and kind of have these dinner time conversations, super high level with their kids, to teach them about how to save and the value of a dollar. There's even stuff on like credit and the importance of insurance, so that by the time they get through high school and college, they're not hearing these concepts for the first time, and they have a little bit of a head start in their adult lives when it comes to just how we think about money.
Well, and learning priorities as a young adult is hard, right? You're learning how to support yourself and have to buy food. I remember the first time I had to go grocery shopping for myself. I didn't want to eat anymore. I'm like, oh my goodness, this stuff is so expensive, you know? And so you start thinking about every corner you can cut and to not spend that dollar, or to have it for, unfortunately, when you're young, usually pleasure, right? And so then, thinking about if I could go back to the point where I think I told you I messed around with some financial stuff when I was like 19 years old. And at the time, and I understood it, right? I definitely understood it, but I didn't act on it myself. And so if I had gone back to 19 years old and did that $100 a month or whatever that they had suggested back then, when that $100 a month for me in that stage of life felt like there were a million other things I could use it for, or the insurance that they suggested I have that would be so much less expensive than buying it now at 39 years old, it's a huge priority shift. And when you're first learning how to pay for things for yourself, it's really hard, even at $100 or whatever it is, to make that a priority. And I made that mistake, right? I would hope that my own kids won't. The interesting thing that I find is there's a couple of different things. There's the families who mostly don't talk about it, like you said. But inside of there, you can split that into two categories too. There's the ones that don't talk about it, then also don't have a lot done to prepare their kids for it, right? Then you have these other families who are especially entrepreneurs, right? There's tax write-offs and employing your kids and saving that money for them, and all of that. I have friends whose kids are far wealthier than their grandparents because of things that were done from the day they were born for them. But if things like this aren't done on top of that child, not knowing how to manage that money, at 18, 19, 30 even, for a lot of people, there's such a strong foundation in whether the money's put there and prepared for them or not, which is amazing when families can do that. The ability to manage it because it is there, or create it when it's not, is pretty powerful to me, pretty impactful. So I'm super excited to do this with you guys.
Yeah, and how about this one? Given that it's getting towards the end of tax season, one of the chapters is titled "Break the News About Taxes," and I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody complain about paying taxes. And I certainly remember as a high schooler, when I got my first paycheck, I looked at it and I was like, "Who's FICA? And why are they taking all of my money?" And so I think, simple concepts like that can go a long way, in just paving the success, which comes from education and understanding about how money works. Because at the end of the day, we can't change rules, we can't change laws necessarily, but the more understanding we have about them, the more empowered we can feel as, members of this society.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's super exciting. And I think when people do understand where that money is going, or even just that it's coming out, it does help really make some decisions. It also makes you really think about, if you're giving that much away, what are you doing for yourself, which I think is really cool. Well, very exciting. I have Heather Parker coming on soon here. I think next week we're recording one also, because she'll be partnering with us on the estate planning portion of financial literacy, which is super exciting. So anybody who is interested in learning more about how to attend with us and getting your free copy of the book, send me a DM or a text message and we will get you scheduled to join us for the seminar. Thank you for joining me on Aligned and Local. I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, connected, and even more in love with the amazing businesses and people that make our community so special. If you've enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, share, and leave a review. Your support helps spread these stories out even further. And remember, when you are looking to buy, sell, or refinance, or just want to connect with a network of amazing local businesses, I am always here to help. So let's keep elevating local voices and strengthening our community together.